Hey guys, what's up? It's Dusty here, back with another crypto video. Today might have just been one of the most important days that cryptocurrencies will ever see. What I'm about to show you guys today has been broadly spread all over Twitter, all over YouTube, all over Facebook. Everybody is talking about this right now, but you might not understand the severity of what has just been said. Of course, I'm talking about Donald J. Trump. He said publicly on Twitter for the first time something about cryptocurrencies, and the whole world did not take this lightly. No, the whole world looked at this with all of their judgment, and it came everywhere. So this tweet is just about 11 or 16 hours ago. I see her already 16 hours ago, but you can see Donald Trump is not no small guy on Twitter. He has 62 million followers that he showed this tweet to, 50,000 likes, 15,000 retweets, 15,000 comments. So let's check out what he said on Twitter. Let me remind you guys that this is the first time this important person, the President of the United States, the 45th, has ever spoken publicly about cryptocurrencies on Twitter. He said, "I am not a fan of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, which are not money and whose value is highly volatile and based on thin air. Unregulated crypto assets can facilitate unlawful behavior, including drug trade and other illegal activity, period." He then went on to say, similarly, Facebook's Libra's virtual currency will have little standing or dependability. If Facebook and other companies want to become a bank, they must seek a new banking charter and become subject to all banking regulations, just like other banks, both national and international. We have only one real currency in the USA, and it is stronger than ever, both dependable and reliable. It is by far the most dominant currency anywhere in the world, and it will always stay that way. It is called the United States dollar, and this stirred up so much controversy all over the world. It has been insane. Never in my life have I seen this many articles pop up within a couple of hours, really bashing Donald Trump, but also really praising him for the quote-unquote master or god or whatever I've seen that he is. There are so many points that I do not agree with him though. As an example, he says their unregulated crypto assets can facilitate unlawful behavior, including drug trade and other illegal activity. Now, please tell me, right? A lot of you guys are into the crypto space. You've been here for a while. Please tell me where this comes from. Why is it so that crypto assets can facilitate unlawful behavior? Is it only cryptocurrency that can do this? Really? Really? Right? And a lot of people in the comment sections everywhere came by to also give their fair share of criticism on the things that he's been saying. Justin Sun, for example, came in to tweet at Donald Trump by saying, "Mr. President, you're misled by fake news. Bitcoin and blockchain happens to be the best chance for the US. I'd love to invite you to have lunch with crypto leaders along with Warren Buffett on July 25th. I guarantee you, after this lunch, nobody will know crypto more than you." It got 7.2 thousand likes for Justin Sun. It's crazy. David Gokhshtein, also quite a well-known investor, or at least entrepreneur. I don't really know what his main title is, but he's quite important and quite well-known in the financial space. He replied to Justin Sun and Donald Trump by saying, "Accept the opportunity to sit down at this lunch and learn more about this beautiful space." And I definitely agree with them right here. I think for Donald Trump, it will be mind-boggling and eye-opening to have a word with Warren Buffett, with Justin Sun, with Charlie Lee, some of the biggest founders in the cryptocurrency space, some of these billionaires like Donald Trump, and have a conversation about what the real advantages, disadvantages are, and really to understand cryptocurrency to a bigger level. Having said that though, one might speculate about the reasons for Donald Trump to be posting such a thing. Why did Donald actually go ahead and talk about cryptocurrencies? Well, it is often speculated just now within the last couple of hours that it is actually in response to this right here. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell testifies on the state of the economy. This is something that we've been talking about for the last couple of days. It is also said in this article right here, largest bull signal, US President Donald Trump lambasts Bitcoin and Facebook says Libra. And right now, it's the first time ever that the most powerful man has publicly commented on the crypto space. It's not clear what prompted him to do so, but people speculate that he was responding to the Fed's chair Jerome Powell's previous comments on Bitcoin, Libra, and other related topics. But now, it is actually not that positive in the literal sense for Trump to say this, right? For us as crypto enthusiasts, he literally says that he's not a fan of crypto, not a fan of Bitcoin, not a fan of Libra, yada, yada, yada. But I think a very good part about it is that the reasons he says he's not a fan of this are completely, all right, from my personal perspective, stupid. He says that their values are based on thin air. And then often I see people say in the comments of all of these Twitter threads and whatever, like, oh, but how is the US dollar created? How is anything on your bank account? It's thin air. Money is pulled from nowhere. And the only excuse that, the bigger players have for this is that they say that the US dollar is backed. And some things along that line I often hear, like, oh, but it's not out of thin air since it's printed by the government and, there's regulations for it, yada, yada, yada. It's all just bureaucratic stuff, let them believe what they want to believe. But we in the crypto space actually think this is very positive from him to tweet such a thing. First of all, he has 65 million or 62 million followers. Knowing now that 62 million people, or at least let's say 10 million people, saw something about cryptocurrency in their timeline. I'm actually saying 10 million people because it's Donald Trump with 62, there's Justin Sun with 1 million, and you just so go on with a lot of the people who responded. There's 15,000 people who responded, so I guess to say that 10 million people saw this tweet, or at least, that's not crazy to see 10 million people that saw this tweet, have now been introduced into the crypto space, or at least that were already into the crypto space, saw it once more. And they now, of course, are up in those figures of Bitcoin and Google Trends, which is positive to us. But also, again, the reason that he claimed they're bad are just really, really far-fetched to us, which is another positive thing. And also, if you look at it down here, mainstream adoption of cryptocurrency. If you look at it from a different perspective, this is actually showing that crypto can really not be stopped. By him saying that he does not like it, it is showing us that, even the president of the United States is thinking about cryptocurrency some of the time here. And he's actively stating, I'm against it, he's not a fan of it, because they're not money and whose value is highly volatile and based on thin air, unregulated crypto, yada, yada, yada. But that's showing some interest in this. And he's also admitting that it's something that a lot of people are going for, yada, yada, yada. Albeit Trump took a swipe at Bitcoin and other cryptos, the crypto community believes that this is a major event for crypto, since it's the first time the sitting president of the United States has publicly spoken on Bitcoin and the cryptos ecosystem at large. Today marks the day when Trump's comments put Bitcoin in the full glare of publicity. This comes after Fed Jerome cited that Bitcoin is just a store of value, just like gold. Or is a store of value just like gold. So the Fed's Jerome, right? So the article that we're talking about this year, Jerome Powell, this was really positive. That's one, because it said Bitcoin is a store of value just like gold is. And right now, we're seeing that Trump is actually going ahead and tells all of his 60 million people, maybe even 100 million within a couple of days here as the news spreads like wildfire, that what he thinks about cryptocurrencies, meaning that now, of course, crypto like XRP, like Bitcoin, some of these more popular cryptocurrencies can really come into popular mainstream media right now because the president of the United States talked about them. There's not that much of a taboo on it anymore as there was for the last couple of years here. It's really been put into a very, very good limelight, and I'm loving it all the way. Thank you, Donald Trump, for doing that. It is amazing. So, the CEO of Coinbase tweeted in response to Trump's disdain of Bitcoin, saying, "Achievement unlocked. I dreamed about a sitting US president needing to respond to growing cryptocurrency usage years ago. First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, and then you win. We just made to step 3, y'all." And again, the Coinbase CEO is a pretty big guy here as well. Another person to acknowledge that Trump's tweets are good for the crypto space is Circle CEO Jerome. He said it's possibly the largest bull signal for BTC ever. His tweet read, "Possibly the largest bull signal for BTC ever. Crypto now a presidential/global policy issue. People everywhere will embrace a mix of sovereign and non-sovereign digital currency." Might there be some regulations coming? We don't know, but we definitely know it's a subject of today, and there's going to be a lot more mainstream focus now on cryptocurrencies, which of course also means a lot more exposure. This could be very good for the crypto prices. That could also be why the crypto prices had actually gotten another good day after a couple of days of really being quite catastrophic. Jack the Ripple XRP on Twitter says Ripple works with regulators all over the world, and real Donald Trump doesn't like unregulated cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and others. The eyes are useless when the mind is blind. Read between the lines, XRP the standard. The reason I actually showed you guys this right here, so talking about Ripple and XRP in a general crypto article or issue really, is because whenever we're talking about regular crypto here on a normal scale, I'm always just thinking about XRP straight off, right? Bitcoin is my number one priority, as my majority of my holdings is in Bitcoin. But I always like to think about XRP since we're having a lot of these security issues, and XRP is also, to a certain extent, easier to integrate into a normal society because of the speed, effectiveness, ease of use, and because they're working with such a big company, Ripple, with normal payments, so to say, with Ripple Net with Xcurrent, since that does not utilize XRP, but Ripple, the company, is really mainstream. Hopefully you guys get my drift there. XRP is a little bit more connected to just normal everyday people at this point. I think all these big discussions also have a very big influence on XRP, which is why I think it is very much worth it to mention once more. Enthusiasts think Ripple is mounting selling pressure on XRP in push for adoption. This is another article which has nothing to do with the rest of these articles and the rest of the story, but I find it so important to add this because you can now see a very big contrast between certain types of the day. So, enthusiasts think Ripple is mounting selling pressure on XRP and push for adoption. But then some other people will right now tell you that that's not the case whatsoever. It's just presidential debate like this or presidential tweets like this which are moving the price. Some others will say it's Ripple 100%. Some others will say Ripple has nothing to do with XRP price. And this perception will shift within a day, right? Every time it just switches up all the time. So it is very hard for me to attach value to claims like this since there's nothing to back them up. And even price moves like we're seeing could be because of anything in the crypto space. It is really hard to attach these things to one another. Tom Lee speaks on recent Bitcoin plunge, saying, important to step back and focus on the bigger picture. Also, with the Donald Trump situation here, I think it is very important to step back and look at the bigger picture, whereas he's saying something negative, but bad publicity is publicity as well. Keep that in the back of your head. And the bigger picture here is that Bitcoin is really making it to the bigger players now. And not even Bitcoin, just crypto in general, really setting themselves up for something major right now, and it's just amazing. The bigger picture here to see is that crypto is going to become great. Trump pump, that's what this article was about. Trump pump, Bitcoin price buoyant after US president says he's not a fan. And again, we know the crypto community, we know the people that support these cryptocurrencies. Most of the time, they're quite the opposite, or they quite have an opposite opinion of what the president has, right? I'm not trying to say you should, but often what I'm seeing in the crypto space is a lot of people who are against some of the opinions that Donald Trump expresses. And I think that's exactly what makes this crypto space so fun, is that you can see a lot of criticism, but it's just taken with a lot of enjoyment. A lot of people are happy with Donald Trump tweeting such a thing. And I think a lot of these likes also come from crypto enthusiasts, as it shows once more that cryptocurrency is something real now. He just put another stamp on it saying, cryptocurrencies, yes, I'm afraid of that. That's kind of what he's been saying right here. The liberal part I actually did not really comment too much on because I think that's a way bigger issue and a way bigger problem on a global scale, as China and India have also indicated that there have been some issues with Libra, and they are scared of it to a certain extent. And what Trump here is saying about Libra is not even that strange either. But it shows that they're afraid of these cryptocurrencies and blockchains. An intermediate Bitcoin correction could see XRP drop half its current price. Don't care about that. Don't agree with that. This is just to scare you off into selling your XRP. That's what I'm thinking right here, that these articles are just meant for you to sell it. That's all. And then hackers thieve $32 million in cryptocurrency from Japanese exchange Bitpoint. I actually did not see this in any other video or any other article out there, so I thought it would very much be worth it to mention. Add that to the list of hacked Japanese crypto exchanges. 3.5 billion yen hacked from Bitpoint currency exchange. That's $32 million. But guys, thank you all for watching this video. Hopefully you did learn something new and you did enjoy it. Make sure you press the like button on this video if you did, as it does really help out the channel. Also, make sure you comment down below if you have anything left to say or if I missed anything that is important to mention, because then I can always do another video later today where I clear up my mistakes or give you guys some additional info. Thank you guys all for watching, and I'll see you guys again in another crypto video. This whole video was not financial advice, purely for entertainment purposes only, and have a nice time.